What's going on, guys? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, coming at you with a trade review breakdown video for today. It is a little bit early here. It's 12:23. My apologies. I told you guys I was going to get one out yesterday, but didn't get back home until late last night. So, going to go ahead and do it today and kind of break down today's action and then kind of what we're looking for here now. So, I did the morning write-up this morning here and basically was talking about yesterday's action where we gapped up and did absolutely nothing for the day. And then kind of, fast forwarded, marked off some key zones for today between 19 quarter and 29.75s. In the S&Ps here would be the do not trade zone. If we can break under 29.19s, then no longs on the day, and we've got room to 28.92. I wrote this isn't the most likely thing I see happening today. And I'll talk about that in a second. But in the morning trade plan video that I did here on YouTube, I talked about the fact that from the time that I wrote this morning at about 8:30, the S&Ps were up around 26, 27. And then when I did the morning trade plan at 9:10 to 9:30 this morning, the S&Ps had sold off and we're now printing like right around 29.19s. We were actually printing, I think, a low of like 1750s or so when I was on the mic. And I'll put a link to that morning trade plan video in the description below if you guys want to check that out. And if you haven't already done so, if you click the subscribe button and turn on the little bell notification next to that right now, then you guys will get notified when I go live each and every morning to share my thoughts and analysis with you guys on what I see happening for the markets on the day. And again, I do that each and every morning about 9 o'clock to 9:20 there. Now, what we ended up having today was the potential for kind of a fake out, shake out to the downside today. And, I wrote in here, if we break under 19 quarters, then no longs on the day. But like I said, that kind of shifted from when I first put this out. And I'll talk through that in just a second. And, the trade that I took here, which was in the Nasdaq, that led to $444.60 on the day. And that position was worked out really nicely there. So was done by about 10 o'clock this morning here. And a couple other things I did was I put out a Nadex trade idea, talked about a swing update here as well, put out a Nadex trade idea, which was just for the 29.58 for 4:15 p.m. expiration. The risk reward here was just so good that, in fact, if something came out, again, I put this out when S&Ps were trading right around 25.26. You can see the Nadex indicative index price here was 29.26 at 8:41 this morning when I was typing this up. And the risk reward was good there. I liked the position. But I ended up, writing in there as well that I didn't, I'm not finding a good enough risk reward setup for the move to 29.40 quarters. So I wanted to wait until after the bell and see if we can get a better setup from there. And we ended up getting that, and I'll pull that up here. That was the 29.1980s for the 11 a.m. expiration here. I'll go ahead and screenshot that out of the chat and pull it over for you guys here. And that ended up being this trade right here. So 29.1980s, 11 a.m. expiration, sent that out at 10:09. And then looking to dump on a test of 19 quarters here. Again, small position. Now, what ends up happening here, and I'll pull Nadex up here so you guys can see, I still have that 29.58 on for today, and then the position that I have that I took today for the 29.1980s here, you can see I got filled on 3 of those for $13.50. And right after getting into that position there, I went ahead and put an order out to take me out at 45 bucks. Again, that was going to be that test of 19 quarters if we could get there. Now, again, I only had 51 minutes or so when I put this position on for it to go ahead and work out. I ended up canceling this order here at 10:54. I did have to run, and I literally had to get up and walk out the door. So at 10:54, I changed that order and then put in a new order here for 15 bucks, which then ended up getting filled. So what ended up happening was we rallied right up here on the very last, in the last 5 minutes, literally 1 minute after I got up from the desk at 10:54, we started rallying on this 10:55 bar and traded up into 1975s, which would have allowed you to dump that position on a test of 19 quarters there. Those 45 orders that I had working most likely would have been filled in there, but nonetheless was able to basically scratch the trade for 15 bucks. Again, I got in at 13.50, got out at 15 minus commissions. So I'm completely fine with that. And the reason being is, it was a little bit of a push on the trade. Was looking to kind of get that move inside of that 51 minutes, which is a little bit tighter than I typically like to go for, but nonetheless was able to manage the position and take it off for a break even. I didn't, just say, okay, I'll let it go and see what happens type of thing. Managed the trade and was able to, work my way out of that position for pretty much a break even there minus commissions and all that. So that was a good trade on the day here. And what I'm going to look to do now here, and again, that trade was taken kind of back in through here, right in through there, 1007, 1008s, and looking for that move up to 19 quarters, which again, we did get right before that 11 o'clock time frame. So hopefully some room members were able to take advantage of that trade and ride it up into the 11 o'clock time frame. Again, just unfortunate I had to leave literally 5 minutes before that trade was going to expire. But I did take a trade here today in the Nasdaq. And again, this is what I was talking about is, the fake out, shake out potential for the day. And we ended up getting that. So we had kind of come down, we had made new lows. We were just kind of basing around in here. And we had what I like to call as a failure to go lower pattern right in through here. I'm on the top right chart for those of you that are watching right now. And we ended up kind of setting that right in here through 950 and some change there. And I had these levels in the Nasdaq up here at 77.08 quarters that I was looking for a rally up into. So what I did is, as we kind of established this, little failure to go lower pattern, we had rallied back through here. We rallied back up, set a little mini sell set up here on the 987 tick chart. And I watched how price had traded back up through these 85s, which were the prior lows from right in here, 85 quarters. And I watched how price had traded up through that level, came back, retested it right here on this bar, pushed higher, established the sell setup, and then failed on the sell setup. So I stepped into the long side and rode this market up right through there. So basically 954 to like 957 was the trade in there for the Nasdaq. And you guys can see that on the screen. That ended up leading to $444.60 on the day here for the Nasdaq. Just so you guys can see, I did nothing here in the S&Ps. I did nothing here in the Russell, and then I had a small trade in the Dow that trailed for break even there, $13.20. So $444.60 plus the $13.20, so $457.80 on the day, trading the futures markets here this morning. And again, I was done with that by basically 10 o'clock this morning. So I was looking for that fake out, shake out. It ended up happening. And was able to kind of step in and take advantage of that, and going to wrap it up and call it a day. It is 12:30 here. Again, I had to leave the desk for a little bit there right before 11 o'clock. Came back, knocking these videos out. We are basing up here. We're holding strong. We're trying to hold these 77.08 quarter levels right now for the S&Ps. We're holding off 77.16, the opening print here for the Nasdaq now. And I think we actually are going to make a move higher here between today and tomorrow. Might end up taking until Thursday here. It is Tuesday. Looking for a move up to 77 quarters in the Nasdaq. And then from there, a move up to 78.27. And then from there, we're looking at a target all the way up here to 8,013 and a quarter. So that's what I'm looking at the moment. As long as we're continuing to hold these levels, I think that is where this current market is headed. But I want to give you guys a quick recap on what it was, I was looking to do today, how that kind of shifted based on, seeing the opening action in here where it didn't look like we wanted to break down. I was talking about no longs if we're under 19 quarters, and then I go and take a long today, and that's completely opposite of what it was I was looking at. Again, I was making that plan kind of early on, prior to the markets actually breaking through those 19 quarters, And then when I started seeing the action today, these 5-minute bottoming tails here in the Nasdaq, and a couple other factors that came into play there, it was like, okay, I don't think this market's actually going to get the move to the downside today, like a lot of people are anticipating. It's our 4th test up to these levels here. And again, I'm thinking they're going to break to the upside, and we're going to get those profit targets that I mentioned to the upside here in the Nasdaq. And then again, that's going to carry the S&Ps, Dow, the Russell, everything with it as well. So we'll see if that happens over the next few days here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this trade review breakdown video, talking about a little bit of Nadex, talking about a little futures, both some day trading, and then also adding in a little bit of swing trading here for the next leg to the upside here, which I think we're going to see over the next few days in the Nasdaq. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up on there. If you are new around here, go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit the little bell notification so you guys know when I go live each and every morning, as well as when I drop fresh new videos like this. If you're interested in trading with me on a day-to-day basis, also with Perry and Jay and Rob and the rest of the MLT team in the Major League Trading Discord channel, there is going to be a link in the description below. Feel free to go ahead and click that link, and it'll get you all the details there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next trade review breakdown video. Take care, trade safe, and I'll see you guys then.